Welcome to another edition of Know Before You Owe. I am with a legend in the real estate community. I am with someone who has seen, talked, worked with over 10,000 agents per year for like 20 years. So if you add that up, it's hundreds of thousands of agents. It's no one other than Bill Sperry, the man, myth, the legend. Thank you for being on our show.
Happy to be here, John.
Awesome. So Bill, we are buddies. Always awesome to talk to you about everything related to real estate. You're like Mr. Miyagi of real estate. I'm like Danielson. You're basically like the wisdom guy. I'm painting fences. I'm waxing on, waxing off, learning from you. One day I'll be able to sweep the leg and do the crane. But until then, I'm excited to talk to you about what you see happening in real estate, your legacy, and then also what you think the future holds. So let's talk about your history real quick. Tell us what you did for a majority of your career, because I think our audience will be really interested in knowing how you are still sane having dealt with the audience you had.
Well, first of all, thank you for the intro and the open mic. Well, I guess to start from the beginning is, I was a VP of sales at Realtor.com for about 17 and a half years, building a sales team, working with franchise brokers, teams, and agents. 12 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, you name it, including Sundays, multiple shows, been there, done that, just because it's the nature of just doing this for as long as I have. Recently, I've transition into Homeowner AI with the crew over there, which is really a database platform, by building a universal hub for the lifetime value of a homeowner to make sure that people are bringing them back to where they need to be from a transactional, but more importantly, moving from a transactional world to a wealth management world. Still dealing with agents, still dealing with teams, still dealing with brokers, working and supporting and helping multiple individuals and get to meet people like yourself and keep running.
Awesome. So you go back to the beginning of time where internet leads, the digital world connected with the local professional, right? You've been there from the very beginning, basically since the time of Facebook. You've been able to see the markets change, the consumer behavior pivot, and it seems like now 90% of all transactions, the customer or consumer or client has already found the property before the agent. Can you tell us a little about the kind of legacy of the industry?
Well, I was around when you still had to convince people that the internet was something attractive. I've been around for quite some time, and things have pivoted a lot since then. You're dealing with consumers, and consumers are very aware of all the portals. They're aware of your local portals, and if they get connected in some way, shape, or form to a localized specialist, then they have an opportunity to gain some type of loyalty to that process if someone's proactive in managing their database. Obviously, I'm sure we've all heard throughout the entire industry, database mining, shifting from leads to appointments, consolidating teams, agent hybrid models, consumer experiences as a real differentiator by actually including, the entire journey. That's the new shtick. That's where things are at. I don't suspect it's going to change. Hybrid models are really, in my opinion, going to be, I guess, with a bang of the best bang for your buck, because when you have a brokerage or a team that handles the entire transaction and keeps you in that ecosphere, that's the future of real estate. If you can mix and match, push and pull the power of an agent to actually go to a closing and being able to utilize all the things that an office can give them, such as title, mortgage, transactions. The amount of opportunity you can to flip that individual into a transaction, that's really where the world is going. And then keeping them attached to you for the lifespan and not losing that person, because the lead generation world, hyper commoditized, let's just call it what it is. It always will be, from the flex models, you name it. You got to get part in that process, and it's hard to stay there. But the most important thing is, how do you stay relevant to the person you're transacting with? Because if you can stay relevant in their world for the lifespan of that transaction, then you don't have to, let's say you don't have to buy leads, but you got to buy less leads. Stay current with what you're actively.
I love the word relevant because I use that word all the time. It's actually on my wall. You can't see it right now, but you have to be relevant in anything you do in life, right? There's so many jobs that are service related, but more importantly, it's value add. And so many people forget that this is not just a transaction. You're helping someone make a big emotional and financial decision. And unfortunately, people look at it as a paycheck or a transaction. They move on versus helping Jane and John with their first home, watch them have kids, watch them grow into the next property, watch them migrate on to bigger and better stuff in their lives. And you get to be part of that journey. And I think that's where the passion sometimes is lost with certain professionals, where they just look at it as, I get a big commission and I just care about my paycheck and I'm moving on, right?
You know what's interesting, Jim? There's a lot of conversation about AI. AI this, AI that. You're an investor, I'm an investor. We understand. I've heard that pitch time and time again. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of AI. AI supporting and helping, mining things and scraping things to get you what's, the cream of the crop to the top. At the end of the day, in order to be successful in any business, especially with AI plugging in now, it's the relationship that matters. I've heard it my entire life. Oh, it's about the relationship. And then someone's still spending $100,000 a month on leads. Oh, it's the relationship. And they keep spending the money because it's a process that we've learned. We've got addicted to it. The fundamental reason why I say relationship is because if you don't pivot and start to realize that really is the future of real estate, is the relationship that you've built with a transaction. I mean, just look at your area, the average home cost. If you're not attaching yourself to somebody who's spending $1.5 million with you and realizing that journey is going to stay consistent and relationships got to be consistent, you have to plug in and stay relevant, because relevancy and relationships is really what's going to matter for the future of real estate. And anything that you can get to support and help the relevancy and your relationship to stay plugged into these consumers, that's it, bar none. Top of the funnel. Get to the top of the funnel, control the top of the funnel, have that relationship at the top of the funnel, so everything else doesn't matter.
So I thought Bill Sperry only had 2 R's in your last name, but you have 3 R's. Relevancy, relationships, and real estate. It makes sense, right? I mean, and a power snap to go off on top of that. So what's really cool about this is, like, you've been in the business for now a couple decades. You've seen every shiny object, bell and whistle, fast one to success, slow one to burnout. You've seen models pivot overnight. You've seen industry changes happen. Heck, I even got you trained to be a loan officer to learn about another part of regulation, to be determined, of course. But anyways, what's really cool about this whole thing is it does go back to relationships. I would also classify technology and AI as speeding up the ability for me to focus more time and bandwidth on the relationship. It gets rid of some of the noise, right? I'm not having to categorize documents now that can be done on AI tools, or maybe format some type of marketing piece that's going out. Those things are all more automated, but the most important thing is doing the connection, belly to belly, or Zoom to Zoom, whatever you want to call it. That's the power of being authentic, genuine, and really letting people know that you're not going to disappear. You're helping them through the transaction. You're a name behind a company. You're the person that's going to be there to guide them. I look at myself as the guy on Jungle Cruise at Disneyland. I am the guy on the boat warning you about the elephant blowing water at you, or the monkeys over there, driving the bus. To me, it's about being there, being involved, engaged, and being part of the transaction as a voice and also as a good listener. Some people just want to talk through things sometimes, and they want to be able to hear you and also talk about things that they care about. And so many of these bigger companies can't do that anymore. They've automated so many things. They have call centers here, there, everywhere, but they don't have authentic people that have been through the same journey. So let's talk about your journey. So you mentioned like home ownership under management, or households under management, or the portal game. Are you saying that you're seeing people now build out what you would call like a hub, so to speak, of a place where everything can be put for one consumer that they can go to down the road? Can you explain more about that vision you have?
So from an organizational perspective and what exists in the market today, the top mega teams, top coaches, and I would call them indie brokers, are having to understand that there's this dynamic shift. The dynamic shift is, do I continue to pay for 35% to 40% of the same lead that I get annually? Or is this getting to a point of where I'm kind of beating a dead horse and no matter what I do, the margins get shorter, it's smaller when you're dealing with lead gen. The ability to pivot and actually build that relationship gets more difficult. So you have to figure out a way to do that. And you have to figure out a way to be top funnel and embed your entire ecosphere into the journey of that homeowner, whether they're buying, whether they're selling, whether they're in the cycle of buy sell, whether they're 5 years into it, but they're not going to move for another 6 years. But guess what? That's still relevant. That person's still relevant in your portfolio. And building a hub, a data center, so that individuals who are in that, they're in that state of home ownership, whether it's buy or sell, and actually continuing to stay relevant to them by introducing them to a homeowner portal, becoming that single digital place for everything home to stay relevant by introducing your title company, introducing your mortgage company, introducing your insurance company, introducing all your vendors to one individual. That is, in my professional opinion, the future of where things are going. And whoever wins that game, whoever gets there first, complete top funnel, the days of having to hear words, and I'm not trying to say bad in any way, shape, or form, but I have to do leads with Zillow, or I have to do leads with RDC, or I have to do this. It's going to start to go like this. Whoever wins the top of the funnel relationship game is Checkmate. And by the way, I don't say this to put fear in people's minds, but it's not going to be a lot of people that have that skill set to do it. You got to be an elite group of individuals who understand getting in front of them, managing the relationship, and I mean the entire homeowner journey relationship is literally the only thing that matters at the end of the day. And that will take you past all of the conversation of buyer leads, seller leads, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've all heard it. It's just to the point of vomit. Everybody's got the new shiny thing. Well, guess what? The real new shiny thing. The real new shiny thing is not the new shiny thing. It's always been the shiny thing. And that, once again, is that forever relationship. You get that? Generational. I mean, talk about if you're an indie broker and you got 200 people on your team and you wrapped your entire database and everybody's managing that relationship, you've basically landlocked your entire market. Because if everybody keeps coming back to you for all thing home, checkmate. No one's going to need to go anywhere. I don't need to go to Zillow. I don't need to go anywhere else. I just need to be here. That is where, in my professional opinion, dealing with multiple individuals on a day in and day out, if you have the ability to get up funnel and stay relevant for that journey, it is the official ultimate. It's the ultimate check. It's building that moat around your world, supplying every single person with what they need and staying relevant like the way the best of the best do. There's a reason why 20% of real estate typically make the vast majority of the revenue is because they know how to manage a relationship. Well, guess what? Digitally, you need to get to a place where you manage a relationship too, to free up your time to do the other things that you need to do to support and help your group grow.
I love it. Well said. That's a lot of knowledge right there for our audience. So I think of it as synergy. You're creating serendipitous synergy, right? You're surrounding that client with all the resources. You're coming from a place of abundance and value. You're not expecting anything in return, but you're there to be there for the resource. That they come to Jim Black every time for home insurance or a CPA or wealth advisor. You want to be the center of that hub so that you're the person that is the go-to connector for all things life event or lifestyle for that client, right? Because we all have different life events. You know, it's we're not on the same path, but what's important is when we have to make a decision to know that we have the right resources around us to be there for us. And technology can make that better and free up time for this stuff, like we mentioned earlier. Very powerful stuff. And from a mortgage perspective, I'm a mortgage person, obviously. We help between 3 and 4 times more during the ownership journey than a realtor does, right? I'm helping someone refinance most likely 2 or 3 times before they're going to sell or buy another property. So that's an important factor too, is that if you're entrenched with your loan officer, your wealth advisor, your CPA, you name it, you will be top of mind, not only for them to do something, but maybe they have other people that they could share your information with that they had a good experience with you on. So people lose sight sometimes of the opportunity is in the relationship, but it also might be in the referral to someone that they like and trust, and that trust and like them to do the same thing back. So that's a really
imagine the world where you just outlined it and you just said the most important thing. Because if you transcend the relationship with that homeowner and you actually become everything for them, every single time they talk about, you know what, I had a pipe burst in front of my house, and Jim, my realtor, freaking hooked me up. Amazing plumber. He's done 1,000 of deals with. He's worked with. He's actually helped all these homeowners around here. You definitely got to talk to him. He's my realtor. Check it out. Oh, you need to sell your house? Don't use anybody but this guy. He's got everything. His team's got everything. He's your one-stop shop. Consumers need terminology in their world more than ever. I need a one-stop shop. I don't want to hunt. I don't want to fill out a lead form, because if I fill out a lead form, if I've never done it before and I've done it the first time, when you get 17 phone calls in less than an hour and half are realtors, the other half are lenders, you are never going to go to a website to fill out a form again.
Agreed.
Guess what? I don't have to do that. If you have a relationship with somebody, whether it's past or present, guess what? There's technology that can support and help that journey. It's all about you adopting to it and you supporting and helping it, and then become the forever client supporter. Because guess what? You just said it best. It's not just about that transaction. It's about building you into the transaction conversation they have on a daily. Where am I going to get my mortgage? Dude, if you talk to Bill, his lender, Jim's amazing. Perfect. You just got that. By the way, have you talked to the plumber? It's everything home. Get top of funnel, manage your properties, because listen, at the end of the day, whoever controls the seller pipeline, wrapping your database with some form of AI nurturing to monetize vendors, you win. Having teams understand that, guess what? As the little teams start to get gobbled up because of the industry, you can become that mega team expansion, and then controlling their market by using services that get you control of the sellers and database. When you become that single digital place for everything, you have the ultimate win. And then you bring in all your ancillary services, title, mortgage, home improvement, you name it. The one-stop shop is where it's at. Be that one-stop shop.
I love it. So that's the local approach. We also know that there are big lenders and big real estate companies that are creating these national portals where they're trying to capture that top of the funnel again. So it's really important to know that local will win. Local will win, but it does not hurt us to have national bandwidth and strength and better products and services. So I see a world where we have Jim Black and team locally do a great job. We work and partner with big national players that can cohesively work together. It has to be the right model match. People have to have the same exact values and exact vision. But to me, I see that happening where I'm nurturing these relationships. And I know that I don't have all of the best of everything, but I know where to get it. So as long as I can direct and guide people in the right direction, I feel like I'm adding value. And that's where I'm a fiduciary. That's where I feel like I'm benefiting the consumer first, not at the benefit of myself or my team first. And that's a very powerful thing also. People can reach.
And let's not be blind to it, Jim. You know this, I know this, and anybody listening to this, we know this. National carriers, they understand it. They're making moves to get in front of it. They're making moves to get in front of it fast. And they're realizing that they have to partner with hyper-local, amazing groups in order to make that get across the finish line. Because 1% conversion rates versus 22% conversion rates, it's a totally different conversation. So they're going to have to partner with local experts. The question is, are you supporting and helping them by also supporting and helping that journey that they're on? Because whoever gets there first, one realtor, one contractor, it's one everything. Like I said, never forget, they'll be the one-stop shop. You're the one-stop shop. You've managed your database. You've managed your market. And you can partner with vendors that are really looking to...
Well said, my friend. Well said. So let's talk about the future. So we know everyone's trying to get there. What are you personally excited about in Bill Sperry's world? Like, what are you looking forward to? We have a Facebook group called The Next 5, which stands for what are the next 5 things you're excited about? What are the next 5 things you're doing? What are the next 5 goals you have? Can you share some of those next things with us so we can help share with the audience what you see happening, Mr. Miyagi of this.
Giving all the kudos over here, Jim. I love it. Really at the end of the day, if you're going to sit back and let's just say you have a team, you got a team of 20 people and you're doing all the things that you think you need right, which is, I'm part of a Zillow Flex group or I'm part of this or I'm part of that. Really, we've been talking about relationships. We've been talking about mining your relationships, getting all the noise out of the way. Really, at the end of the day, our number one goal should be how do we get as many potential live opportunities in front of our team from a conversion perspective. So whether that come from an appointment, I say leads, but really at the end of the day is people should be focusing on how do I grind this system to get as close as I can to an appointment? Because realtors on the front end in a transactional world should be focusing on as much potential opportunities that come from an appointment. Then on the back end, they should definitely be having some form of database mining ROI system that's going to mine their database and actually let them know about the activities that are happening that are very important for someone growing their services. There's a lot of companies that go into that world of opportunities that do data mining. The question is, do you want to have to buy a data mining service where you're going to actually be getting, statistically some seller leads, but then you miss the other side of the fence, which is, controlling your database and wrapping it for the future. So there's ROI machines. I like a combination of both. If a service has a combination of wrapping your database for building a moat to mine your homeowners and include propensity scores, that's the ultimate place to be. It's a one-stop shop. And I brought it up. I talked about, a lot of individuals who are on these mega teams who are really focusing on expansion. Right now is an amazing time to expand in areas. And by the way, when I say expand in areas, I'm always very leery when you talk about teams. I'm in California. I'm going to take over Florida. I can appreciate that, but unless you get boots on the ground, it's really difficult to kind of manage that.
And the right boots on the ground too. Even as matter
just when it's 2,000 miles away. What I always say is control your backyard and then start to spread the best things that you do localized to you. So if you're in one county, start cross-referencing other counties, because I promise you, with what a mega team can offer in both services, marketing, coaching, and training, there's not one person who shouldn't be in massive recruiting mode. Teams should be in massive recruiting mode right now because you have a lot of things that other people can't offer. And I even go as far as saying franchises. Franchise minds have not gone to where a mega team functions. So really utilize the things that you can do and what you bring to the table, whether that be leads, lead gen, coaching, training, database management, database mining, marketing. Utilize that time to grow your team. Next, which again, I'll bring it up again, and it's kind of beating a little bit of a dead horse, but become the single digital place for everything home. Being relevant for everything home gets you ahead of portals and stays you top of mind with that homeowner. And then last but not least, we brought it up, whoever gets to the place of where they are going to transcend just teams and they're going to be what I would call a hybrid group would be the ultimate place to be. That's aligning and bringing in mortgage, bringing in insurance, bringing in all things in-house. So you become that really one-stop shop and you never lose any type of opportunity to any other competitor because you have everything under the same roof. Or if you're just a digital space and you're a satellite office, if your organization has everything under one roof, there's no reason, if you put everything else in play, to lose a consumer. Then it just becomes keep putting people in the funnel, because my digital world's going to keep working for me. And then I follow up with all the things that rise to the top. How you stay relevant. And those are really the 5 things that I would say you got to start focusing on those things. You got to start running very quickly because there's people right now that are actively doing this. And they've been doing it for the last year. You don't want to be late to that train. You do not want to be late to that train because if someone gets you top funnel, just remove that person from your database. That person's taken by Jim. Oh, the next one too? You don't want to be caught on that world.
Very powerful stuff. these words of wisdom are worth a priceless amount of information and money to these teams out there. If you're a real estate team, reach out to us. We'd be happy to share some of Bill's strategies with you. If you're a loan officer, think about living in abundance. Think about being the go-to relationship connector. These are all valuable, wise, experienced, informational pieces that you can take, nuggets you can put in your business today. You may not see the results tomorrow, but I would imagine that 6 months from now, looking back, this is probably going to be one of the biggest things you could do for your business. And can't thank you enough, Bill, for always being an amazing person to talk with. You look so young for how much wisdom you have. I don't know if you're what it is, but you got that. You have such a baby face, and you're always working out, always in shape. Obviously, it's hard to be on screen when you're with Bill Sperry because you just you lose on all categories. So thank you so much for all you do, my friend.
You're awesome, Jim.
Always love talking with you. Thank you so much. This is another edition of Know Before You Owe. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. And I think Bill will actually share the link where he buys his V-neck shirts because those things are exquisite. I mean, those are handmade, custom V-neck shirts. You can't find them anywhere, but Bill may have the connection for those. So thank you again for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Thanks for your time again. Take care.